What's going on, guys and gals? Chris with the BODDAMN channel. This channel is all about food, fitness, and how to live an active, healthy lifestyle. I decided today, instead of a regular daily upload, or sorry, like I usually upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but today, instead of a normal Monday upload, I decided I was going to do a live video. And a live video where you guys can ask me questions as well if it just happens to be live. So in today's topic, we're going to be talking about how to really build a more powerful and broad chest, right? And so I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and hopefully that can help you guys with your workouts out there. And you know, that's essentially what it comes down to. So anyways, I'm Chris. I'm also known as the creator of the BODDAMN channel, and for 2.5 decades I've been working out in the gym, and I've been basically building as good of a body as I can. And a lot of people have asked me the question, and that is, you know, how do I get a broad chest? Like, how do I get that broad look like you have? Or how do I get just a bigger chest in general? And so I think in this video, I want to address that question on a bird's eye kind of view. So if you're chilling here and watching, you know, and it happens to be live and you see that little live thing, you can actually ask questions in the feed. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the BODDAMN channel, because there's plenty of really awesome content coming down this year, and I really try hard to make videos regarding the comments that I see. And so a lot of this video that I'm filming today came from like repeated comments about the same kind of thing. So anyways, there are a lot of videos coming down in the next 2 weeks that you're going to be seeing kind of like my history and like how I kind of built, you know, my physique and everything like that. But in this video, I'm going to tell you the actual tips and tricks to get the broad chest. All right. So when you're trying to build a broad chest, it's really, really important to understand that, you know, if you're a complete beginner and let's say you are a little bit more on the thinner side or a skinny guy, you know, a lot of times that's where the question comes from. Like, how do I start just building a really big chest? Like, I'm kind of thin and whatever. So you have to understand a couple things. One is to eat in a caloric surplus, because you have to lift heavy to build a broad chest. But when you lift heavy, you expend a lot of energy, and it tears down a lot of muscle, right? And so you have to be able to eat in a caloric surplus a lot of times to build the initial mass that is on the body. Okay, so really, really important. Typically, you don't just build a bigger chest. You a lot of times have to build the foundation. It's like when you build a sculpture out of clay, or if you're wherever a little kid and you played with Play-Doh, you start with, you know, something like a ball, right? And then you start carving it in a certain way, and then it all of a sudden becomes a car or it becomes a truck. But it usually starts as a cube, a rectangle, or a ball. And a lot of times when you're trying to build a big chest, you have to start larger first. You have to get larger first, and you typically have to gain some weight a lot of times. So that's what I did early on when I was first starting working out. I was about 160 pounds, maybe 155, but it really took me a really good summer of eating hard, like eating kind of dirty. When I say dirty, I mean the calories weren't super clean. They weren't organic, non-GMO, grass-fed beef. It was none of that. It was basically like really, really dirty food. So, you know, but I ate a lot, and in one summer, which was about 2.5 months, in one summer, I gained about 20 to 25 pounds. And that was huge, because in that summer, I also learned how to like bench press correctly. And I had a lot of people helping me out. And that happened, you know, many, many years ago. So anyways, you know, that's really what got a lot of the size on there. And then from there, I ate even more when I was in college, and I got to 200 and plus pounds. And I was lifting super, super heavy. So that's key number 2. When you want to build a really broad chest or a powerful upper half, you have to start considering lifting heavy. It's really tough to do if you're lifting light weights, or if you are doing push-ups or things like that, body weight related exercises. You know, a lot of times that big, powerful look comes from getting stronger. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to get to. Now, the third thing is when you're trying to get stronger. So the first thing was eating in a surplus. The second thing was, you know, working out heavy. The third thing is when you work out heavy, you really don't want to be in machines. You don't want to be messing with dumbbells too much. You really want to be messing a lot with barbells. Okay, so barbells are, I mean, I have one standing up right here. Maybe you can see it up against the mirror. But it's the typical thing. When you go into a bench press, you lay down, you grab a barbell, and you're bench pressing, right? When you get into the incline bench press, you stand on an incline bench like this, and you press basically a barbell, which is a long metal piece that has weights on each side that you decide how much weight you want to put on. So that is tip number 3, is you really need to incorporate a lot of barbells. Now, the real reasoning behind that and the scientific reasoning behind that is that when you try to build an upper chest or a chest that's powerful and big and broad, you have to understand that it's not just the chest that most people are looking at. So average human being that's out there and might see my physique goes, holy crap, like that's a really big chest, like that's awesome, like such a broad look. But it comes from a couple of different things. It's not just the chest, because if we just took the chest right here and I never worked out my shoulders or my triceps, it wouldn't look that good, right? So it's almost like it's not like an illusion, but it's 3 things coming down into one, all right? So by doing the bench press and doing compound movements with barbells, bench pressing, incline bench pressing, and then when I finally got like the actual foundation that I was looking for, then I started resorting more towards dumbbells and then cables, and then that's how you kind of start sculpting away. But you need to get the initial size there first, and that comes with barbells. So essentially that's how I did it, is I use a lot of barbells, I use heavy weights, I ate in a caloric surplus, and I got this big kind of look, right? But it also is not just the chest. Anytime that you incorporate barbells or things like that, you actually are incorporating the anterior deltoid, the shoulder muscle, which is basically the whole thing, the back of the triceps. So when you see this broad look, on anybody, that doesn't have to be me, it's a combination of not just working out on the chest, it's working out with specific exercises that get your chest bigger, that get the deltoids bigger, right? And the triceps are also in the picture too, right? And it starts giving you this left to right, like sweeping broad look. And that's what you're probably looking for. So yeah, if I was to only work out my chest really, really hard using dumbbells or cables or things like that, yeah, I wouldn't really have big arms. I wouldn't have big shoulders. It wouldn't look as powerful. I would look like, basically a person with a really big chest, but just kind of like this, right? And the key is to get more like this and more like a V. That's the real key if you're looking at what's called aesthetics. And so aesthetics are basically the look of someone or the look of something that is pleasing to the eye, and it registers in your brain really quickly. Like within seconds, it registers like, that's cool, like that's aesthetic, that looks good, right? So it can be as simple as, sometimes when you look at a dog, someone's walking a dog and the dog is in really good shape, has awesome, like, striations and muscles. You don't see the rib cage. You're like, that dog's in really good shape. Like you immediately within seconds think that. But if you see a dog walking around and its walk is kind of weird, it's slumpy, and it's like totally overweight and everything like that, you automatically within seconds in your brain think, that dog's overweight, it's probably not going to live very long, and the owners may be irresponsible, right? So these are the things that happen within seconds in your brain. There's nothing you can do to control it. This is just how your brain works. And so anytime that you see something aesthetic out there in a physical sense, your brain is calculating many different things at once. It's not just looking at the chest, it's looking at the shoulders, the chest, the waist ratio. It's looking at all that, the posture, and it's immediately going, result is, yes, like I want that. So it's basically an attraction kind of thing. If you look at it on a scientific standpoint, it's a waist-hip ratio, and it just comes down to basic like human attraction. So it's the same thing like in the military. If you look at people that become generals and sergeants, or like they start getting higher ranks, a lot of times they have really jutting broad jaw lines, right? Very cut jaws. And it's just statistically the people that are in those high ranks have that, right? And that is definitely a commanding and pleasing kind of look for that kind of rank, I guess. So if you have a really soft face and it's very round and you're pudgy and whatever like that, it's tough, on a statistical sense, to make it to those top ranks. They want people that look like kind of like the G.I. Joe character, essentially. And that's what is the most aesthetically pleasing look for that rank, essentially. So, and that's actually just down to human physiology and science and everything like that. I took a course back in college, and it like changed the way I looked at everything. But that course, I believe, was evolutionary psychology with a guy named David Buss in the University of Texas at Austin. And in that class, we talked about waist-hip ratios and how quickly, within seconds, the brain looks at something and goes, that's awesome. Like, that's basically, like, that's cool, that's aesthetic, or I want to date that person. And males do it to females, females do it to males within seconds, and males do it to males, females do it to females. I mean, that is essentially how fast the brain works, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So when you see something aesthetically pleasing, it's because your brain has calculated all kinds of things within seconds, all right? Within seconds, and you have no idea it's happening, and it registers in your brain like pleasing, or that doesn't look good. All right, so anyways, that's 4 tips that I gave you so far. So eat in a surplus, lift a lot of barbells, lift with a lot of barbells, lift heavy. And the other question naturally is going to start becoming like, how often do I lift? All right, so lift as heavy as you can, all right? And the heavier that you lift, the onset of what's called DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, the onset of muscle soreness, or sorry, the muscle soreness itself is going to be more prolonged the harder that you lift. Also, the earlier that you are into the workout game, yes, you're going to hurt more in the early days because your body's not used to any of this kind of stuff. So if you're hurting and you're a beginner, you go into the gym, you lift heavy, you're like, holy crap, like 2 days later, like it really hurt my chest. I still feel it. And you a lot of times just use your hands and go like this and go, still hurts. Now, as a general rule, as you work out longer and your career in the gym, and I say career as in just the longevity of you working out, it's going to be, you're going to have to start stimulating your body in different ways to get sore, all right? Things that made you sore years ago might not make you sore today because your body is completely accustomed to it. The muscle bellies have developed a certain way, like your muscles are just used to it already. So you're gonna have to stimulate them with various different protocols of progressive overload and things like that, or different exercises. And that's what it takes to get sore these days. Like for me to get sore, I have to really work out differently than normal and do a couple different things. That way, the next day, I'm like, all right, I feel some soreness. The day after, I feel some really good soreness. And then the third day, all right, the third day, there shouldn't really be any, all right? Especially if you are an intermediate or an expert type of lifter, you should not have any soreness on day 3, okay? The only muscle really in the human body that takes 72 hours to recuperate fully, technically, is like the lower back. So that's the longest one. The one that the muscle that recuperates the fastest in the human body is the calf muscle, followed by, I believe, by the abdominals, all right? Because you're constantly walking on your calves, springing on them, springing off of them. So your calves, you can nearly work every single day. Your abdominals, you can work nearly every single day, right? They just recuperate quickly, and it takes forever for them to get sore. They're always being used. Whether you sit in a couch, you get into your car, you bend down and pick over something, you're using your core, all right? You're using your abs and everything like that. So it's constantly being used all through the day. So what I'm getting at is, if you're a beginner lifter and you're wondering how often should I start hitting this bench press and the incline bench press to get a bigger chest and a broad look, how often should I do that? The answer becomes, the second that you are not sore, go back in there and smash another heavy workout with your upper body, chest, whatever, shoulders, and do that. That's the real answer to it, right? You don't want to be lifting when you're still kind of sore. You don't want to be, right? But as you progress in the gym longer and longer, you spend more months in the gym, years in the gym, you're going to realize that you can lift heavy, and then like day 1, you might be sore, day 2, you might be a little sore, and then day 3, you're ready to go. You might lift heavy, and then day 1, you're sore, day 2, you're not even sore at all. You can lift day 2 already, go ahead and relift, and that's basically like your body saying, we're ready for another, another hit. So the amount of times that you can hit your upper body dictates the results that you're going to get, right? So if you work out your upper body once for a month, in a month, it's just not going to look, it's going to take, it might look good in like 4 years, right? If you work out your upper half pushing in, 2 times a week, it might take 8 months to have a broad kind of look. If you work out your upper chest 3 times a week and you're not sore, and you work out again, you're not sore, you work out again, it might take 3 months to get a broad look. So it all comes down to that muscle soreness. But the only way you'll really know your body and how it reacts to heavy weights and lifting is to get into the gym and start putting in that effort. It's really important. Okay, I'm gonna start going to some questions that I see in the feed. So if you have a question, put it into the feed right now. We got 9 viewers watching live. And so yeah, put a question in the feed if you have anything. I'll read some remarks as well. I'm trying to think what else is on the top of my head. So you remember how I said that it doesn't just come down to the chest, okay? That it comes down to other muscles that are around the chest that make it look broad. And more specifically, I'm really kind of just alluding to the shoulder muscle, because the shoulder muscle is really what starts giving you that left to right, like sweeping broad look, all right? To where wherever you walk around, it's like the shoulder muscle, you can look at it, it completes the look. Here's the chest right here, right? And the shoulder is starting right here. There's like an extra freaking like almost 6 inches of shoulder muscle in width, you know, and that's crazy. But that's another thing that you have to work out. So what's the most powerful shoulder, you know, thing that you can do right now to start getting that width going on? So the answer is 2 things. One is it's going to be called an overhead press, or you could do a seated dumbbell military press. But we also said that barbells are king when you want to start building mass up here. So an overhead press, standing overhead press, you get a big barbell, put it like this, stand straight, tighten your core. If you need a weight belt, that's great, because if you're probably going heavy, you're going to need a weight belt. But you're going to keep the bar here, and I have plenty of videos on my channel dictating the overhead press, so, or how to do it properly. But basically, it's a movement from here all the way up to here. You flex your shoulders, right? They get flexed, and then over time, if you work them out heavy enough, you build really big shoulders. Today, I did overhead press, and my protocol today, just on overhead press, was a decent warm-up, and then a set of 8, followed by a set of 5, followed by a set of 3, followed by a set of 1. In between each set, I took about 2 to 3 minute break, and I ascended the weights until I got to that 1. That's what I did today. Someone that has been working out for like over 2 decades, like that was just my shoulder protocol today, because I want to keep my shoulders nice and broad, right? You figure out once you are pretty good in the gym, and you know what the hell you're doing, it almost becomes who you are, because other people get intensely and insanely they get very motivated, not satisfied, but they get motivated when they see something that they know real well, like my friends or people that talk to me in the gym. They're like they talk to me, right? And they ask me all kinds of questions, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you eating? Like, what do you do? You know, and so that becomes part of me. And that's the reason why I've never let that go, because it really started in high school. I lifted weights, and then it came down to a couple people seeing it. They're like, wow, you're getting kind of big. Like, that's kind of cool. And kind of big then was like 160, 165 pounds. But I came from something much lighter than that. And then in college is when I really started blowing up and getting everything crazy. So at that point, everyone in the University of Texas at Austin knew me as that's the big guy, Chris. He's huge. You know, like that's that dude. Like, you know, and I made friends with a ton of people. It became who I was. And from then on, I never let it go, because I figured out it inspired a lot of people. It's like my signature thing. And so I just went with it. I stayed with it. And most people, you know, are fit usually once or twice in their lives, and that's about it. Then they get kids and things go crazy and the jobs start dictating what they can do with their lives. I chose a different path. I never let anything get ahead of fitness, not a single thing. And that's the reason why, you know, I am at this age that I am right now. And most people never believe it, but I'm actually 39 years old, and they're like, holy crap, like I don't even understand it, right? So 39 years old, I haven't let a single thing go. In fact, over the years, I've learned more, progressed better, and, you know, gotten hurt less, right? So it's pretty awesome. And most people at 39 years old, just, I don't know, they look at me like, this guy's messed up. Like he's got, all he does is work out in the gym, which is absolutely untrue. The amount of hours I put into the gym a week is actually probably less than 7, all right? You heard me right, less than 7 hours a week in the gym. So that's the reason why I think I know a thing or two, and I can help you guys out build that broad chest. You don't have to spend hours in the gym and go crazy, like only eating protein all day long. You can do these things on the cheap, and you can do them if you're smart with your time. So that's essentially what I wanted to get it down to. I'm going to answer a couple questions real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. Do me a favor, if you like the content on this channel, make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button. That's so important. It'll get you every goddamn video that comes up, especially the live ones when they get shot live. And then you can answer, you can ask questions, because I feel as if when it comes down to a value proposition, if I follow somebody that inspires me, and you know, there are a lot of people that inspire me, and they're not even bodybuilders, right? They're just entrepreneurs. But if I can find a chance for them to answer 1 or 2 of my questions, that's so valuable to me. And I realize that their time is like intensely valuable to them. So if they do a live show and they dictate when it is and everything like that, I almost have to put something in my phone as an alert, like, okay, I can ask my 2 questions on that show if I just put it in my calendar, and I can be there, and they might read my question. So as my channel grows, it's gonna be harder and harder to actually get your question read out live. But this channel is still in its infancy, right? And so if you hit that bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get notified of all my live shows, which I plan to shoot one a week. And that way you can get your questions asked in you can get your questions answered in real time. And you know, if you have a specific thing that is physical fitness related or lifestyle related, I mean, I really want to answer that question for you. All right. So let's answer some questions right now. All right, so Darren Eckelman says, I'm 320 pounds and 6'8". You know, 320 at 6'8" could be a really powerful look, but it could also be a really overweight look. So I don't know what that kind of translates to. At one part of my life, I was 226 at around 10% body fat, but 226 to me was way over my BMI. And so I scaled it back considerably after that. And I was just eating way too much food, and I just didn't feel super fast. So, but 320 pounds at 6'8" could be a strong man, you know, for all we know. So, you know, what kind of body type do you have? What are your goals, Darren? Let me know. And it's good to see you in the chat. Johnny Chinga says, a body like that equals goals. Well, quite honestly, it is just coming down to priorities, right? There's so many things in this world that will take your time away that are not things that you even wanted in the first place. So let me explain that real quick. Number one, there's so much content and so many things that'll try to take your attention and try to take your goals away from you. If you want an awesome body, if you want a bigger upper chest, and if you want to get fit and just have the opposite sex attracted to you, or maybe even in this day and age, the same sex attracted to you, whatever, you know, you have to put time and effort into your physical fitness. You have to, okay? And when I said time, that's really important because a lot of people, I don't have the time to work out. I can't get a body like that. You must be on steroids, right? It's completely false. I don't do steroids. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I eat like a champ. I eat well. I work out like nobody's business. And I just do things smart, all right? I do things smart, and I know my body very well. So what am I getting at? I'm getting at that if you want a body like this, or it's just an aesthetically pleasing body, or a body like a Hollywood actor or whatever, make it priority number one, okay? And one of the ways that you can do this, and the easiest way, all right, to find time to get an awesome body is take an actual sheet of paper or a Google document, right? And just record the amount of time that you spend on Facebook and Instagram, or sitting on your couch just aimlessly screwing around with your phone. Take that time in a given week. Do an experiment for yourself. You owe it to yourself. Trust me, like, you totally owe yourself this. Do an experiment for a week, and each and every time that you are messing around, just time it, all right? And then once you're done, you're conscious like, holy crap, like I was totally on my phone. Okay, I was on my phone for 27 minutes. Cool. Put that in your little, you know, thing. If you are, put that in your little record sheet or whatever you're going to use, a Google document, and record all the time in a given day that you are on social media or on your phone, not doing things related to your immediate job, but on social media, you know, replying to text messages, things like friends back and forth, ha ha ha, memes, whatever. Record all that, okay? And at the end of the week, be honest with yourself and go, holy crap, do I really not have time to work out, or do I actually have time to work out? I just didn't see it, right? And so that comes down to priorities. If you are trying to get an awesome body, you literally have to take awesome body from here and move it up the priority list up to here. It should be the first one or two things that you do in the day, all right? So I'm just gonna give you, that's a professional advice right there. If you want an awesome body, you heard me here, you have to take it from a crappy, you know, priority that it is, more than likely, or an afterthought, and move it up and get more regular with it and get a, you know, a schedule going on, an eating schedule. You have to put it priority number one. You have to, okay? That's how it works. There's no real cheat sheet to it, right? Yeah, you can go take steroids. There are plenty of people that take steroids and all this crazy, stupid supplements and never even get the body that they want. They never get it. Why? Because it takes hard work. Regardless if you do supplements or steroids or whatever, you still need to go in the gym. You still need to put in that hard work. There's not a single thing in this world where you can fall into being fit and amazing looking within a day or two or a week. It actually requires effort. Unlike things like money, for example, you could win the lottery and be rich tomorrow, right? And you could also work the next 10 or 20 years of your life and save up a ton of money and be technically rich at the end. But there's not a single thing out there when it comes to being physically fit, okay, and having an aesthetically awesome body, that you can be fit tomorrow or next week. All right. There's no machine out there. There's no weird technology that will get you the body that you want without you putting in sweat, hopefully no tears, but sweat and effort. All right. All right. So let me go to the next question or the next remark. You should do a video doing push-ups workout to get a bigger chest. By the way, great video, bro. Daniel Mendoza. Thanks, Daniel. There is a video that has over 1 million views on my channel that is like 3 push-ups to build your chest. And that's a really good video. And I still resort to those push-ups every now and then to help me accentuate the chest. So you should go check out that video. I have plenty of videos regarding push-ups on my channel, but I will try to make more of those. So Will Johnson, how do I get stronger on my bench press? This is a really good question. One of the easiest ways to get stronger in your bench press is to start recording every single week what you're doing. I would spend a month doing different protocols. All right. So 1 month, you have to ask yourself, first of all, another question, which is, why do you want to get stronger on your bench press? Because there's some people that are like, I do 315 on bench press and I'm 170 pounds and I just want to get stronger on bench press. What is that going to achieve for you? Right. If you get stronger on bench press and you're 170 pounds and you're pushing 315, I mean, for example, you have to start asking yourself, why do you want to get stronger on bench press? Like, what is it about bench press that you want to get stronger at? Because a lot of people fall into this trap of like, I need to get stronger on deadlifts and I need to get stronger on squats. And you have to ask yourself why. All right. If you're going for an aesthetically pleasing body, getting stronger on bench press is, if you're already 315, for example, you already got the foundation there. You have to just carve it all up, right? You have to carve it up with dumbbells and cables, and you'll start getting those cuts in that aesthetically pleasing body. Now, if you're trying to get stronger on bench press for a competition or something like that, then you have to adopt protocols. So 1 month, you might want to do 5x5 protocol. Every time you hit the bench press, 5x5, record every single thing that you're doing, okay? Record it down to week 1, your 5x5 was 225. Week 2, always micro load, put, 2.5s on each side and try to get 230, 5x5 next week. The week after that, you're going to do 235, and then you're going to get stronger by micro loading. It's important, but you should also document everything that you do. Month number 2, go into reverse pyramid training, right? And then month number 3, the other pyramid training, right? And then month number 4, maybe German volume training. So you need to switch it up considerably. And that's another way that you can break past plateaus. So there are 2 real ways to break past plateaus. And the first one is by loading micro weights on each side. And the other way that you can do it is 1 more rep, right? So if you do 5x5, you could be like, all right, I'm going to do 5x5, but on that last set of 5, I will do 6, right? And that's technically making you stronger. So just think about it like that. You have to adopt different protocols, but I think really when you scale it back and you go, why do I really want a bigger chest? If you're pushing up big weight already, you probably have the foundation there that you want. If you're watching my channel, you're probably watching the channel to get more aesthetics or just a better look to yourself. And that's just going to come down to, if you have the foundation, start slicing it up and cutting it up and making it look good, right? The foundation is probably there. If you are skinny and you're thin and you're a male and you want to work on your bench press, now I get it. Go back to my original suggestion, which was every single month, adopt a different protocol, or even every 2 weeks or something like that, adopt a different protocol for your chest. All right, what do we got here? SD thrift action. How often should you max out on the bench press? My answer to that is never. I mean, that's a lot of times what can get people in trouble. A lot of times when my workouts, the ones that I designed for myself and the people that, want workouts, I never put max days on there. There's just no real reason to it. Like, what's the reason of having a max day outside of like increasing your chances of getting hurt? So if you're going to max out on something, make sure you have a spotter there. Rule number 1, don't ever max out without someone there to like help you, because, there's only one real benefit to maxing out that I can see, honestly, on a longevity workout standpoint. And that is to break your mind past a plateau that I can't do that. That's the only real reason to do it. But even then, if you adopt, responsible protocols for heavy lifting, those protocols alone give you that feeling. All right. So you break past your plateaus, no problem. You don't need to max out. That's just my take on it. I don't ever max out on anything. And no one's ever been like, what's your max? Oh, I take that back. In college, that was like the #1 question I would get. What's your max press on bench press? Like, what's your max? And I was like, dude, if these people even knew that I don't do any of that, and that it's really coming down to like the volume of your training, your protocols, rest periods, what you eat. That's the most important thing. If you worry about maxes, you're gonna get hurt eventually. That's just what it comes down to. It's a matter of time, because you might try to outdo a max that you did, let's say last week or 2 weeks ago, but the conditions are different. Maybe it's 10 degrees warmer in the gym or 10 degrees cooler in the gym than it was. You come down because you're like, I'm gonna make it for sure, and you go up and you realize, holy crap, my muscle's not as warm as it used to be, and your spotter is still there, but you've already torn what you need to tear. And so you got to be careful with that. I don't think you should be maxing out. My programs will never have maxes out on them anywhere in them. I don't think it's a proper mode of training that is good for a longevity standpoint. And I am into this thing for the long run, all right? Because the amount of time that you're down in a gym, that counts against you on gains, right? It just does. And plus it messes your head up too, because try revisiting an exercise that hurt you, and you start to realize like there's a lot going on in your head when you realize, like the last big injury I had was like 3 years ago, and it was not adequately warmed up, pushing 5x5 on squat, and just challenging myself like ridiculous, just so stupid. It was just so stupid, but I wasn't warmed up enough, and just came down maybe rep 2 on set number 1. I felt a weird pinch in my back, and it just felt like a wasp had stung it. Right? It was just like intense heat, stinging pain. And then I racked the weight, and I was like, cool. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to finish the rest of my sets. And that literally compounded all the damage. But the damage was done. So, and I wasn't adequately warmed up, and I was just going for big weight and something, how do I say it? I was going for weight that I'd not done repetitively ever. And I didn't micro load or anything. It was just stupid. It was so stupid. So even someone with a lot of experience in the gym still does stupid things every now and then. But that was also 3 years ago. And after 6 months of a chiropractor and everything like that, finally got back to normal. And I realized, like, you have to be able to understand what caused the issue. But going back to that squat and that squat rack, even to this day, still screws my head a little bit. So anyways, what do we got here? A couple more questions and I got to get out of here. Do I ever take rest time off training cycles? If so, for what length of time? Typically, I'm going to go on 6 or 8 weeks on, and I'm going to take a week off. Now, if I absolutely have trouble taking that week off, then I'll do a super 50% deload cycle. Basically, I'll take really, really light weights, maybe 50% or less of what I normally use, and do reps that are really, really high. It's just to keep muscle memory there. It's just to keep the blood circulation going in that general area. So I tend to do that on certain vacations where there is a gym nearby. Then I'll do a really micro deload, and it's good for your CNS, your central nervous system, and all that kind of stuff, to do that kind of stuff. It's also really good, arguably, to just take the whole week off. But that becomes a problem when you've been doing it your entire life. And so workouts and working out and having an awesome physique is really, really fun, but it becomes like any other drug. It becomes an addiction, and you have to know when to really break away from that. What else we got here? It's kind of hot in this garage, so I keep doing this because I got sweat on my face. Can I do a good abs workout? Yes, I can film one for you. Don't worry about that. Ronald Schwartz, really good question. Will pre-workout break a fast? Okay, so certain pre-workouts have 0 calories and certain ones have 5 or 3. It really depends, in my opinion, on what the catalyst of the pre-workout is. Sometimes they're dextrose blends. Sometimes they're other things. Sometimes the calories can come from something else, right? But really, you want to keep, I mean, the best pre-workouts, the one that I'm on right now is pretty good. Muscle Pharma, something like that. It's a pre-workout from Costco. It's so cheap. And on the side, it says 0 calories. So I fast in the morning for about 2 to 3 hours. And that pre-workout is amazing. But some of the C4 ones, for example, like the leading pre-workouts, they have like 5 calories. That's not too bad. 5 calories diluted in a massive amount of water. And I don't really ever take down the whole thing either. So I might be getting really 3 or 4 calories. That's not going to kill you, right? You just want to stay away from substantial amounts of calories in the morning. So that's the reason why when people fast in the morning, you're going to start seeing a lot more coffee and certain types of pre-workouts, sometimes BCAAs that are flavored with stevia or something, but you really don't want, or monk fruit. You just don't want to have really many calories in the morning because that can trip up your fast immediately. And so that's the reason why I don't eat anything. Even as small as an oatmeal or banana or anything like that, I don't eat that stuff in the morning. I have 0 or a super low calorie pre-workout, or I'll just have black coffee diluted in a gallon, which you'll see in a video soon. And that's what I do. I mean, that's, the benefits of fasting are immense. Not to mention there's hormone regulation and increased GH in males. There's also, really helps your digestive tract. It helps all kinds of things, insulin levels. There's just a million different benefits to intermittent fasting. So I really suggest a lot of people do it. So I tend to do even longer fasts on the weekends, on a Wednesday when I have no workout planned for Wednesday and I'm just going to go in a coffee shop and do my work and everything like that. I'll try to fast for like a very long time, like 16 hours almost. So, but days like this, like right after this, I'm gonna eat a huge breakfast, and my fast already was broken like an hour ago. I had a smoothie. So, all right, let me get more questions here. How can you get around an injured shoulder and build your chest? This is a really good question. Mike Wallace, you have to look at my shoulder warm-up routine that's on my channel, because that's just literally how I did it. I've had an injured shoulder probably 3 times in my life. 1, snowboarding accident. 2, mountain biking accident. And 3, just stupid lifting in the gym when I was in college. So yeah, band workouts and all that kind of stuff. You'll see it on some of my videos with the shoulder workouts. You have to do the band workouts. Very important. You really shouldn't be thinking like, I want to get a massive chest. If your shoulder is injured, the most important thing that you got to be thinking right now is warming up the shoulder before every single upper body workout that you do, whether it's biceps, triceps, shoulder, back, chest, it don't matter. Your shoulder is involved with all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you warm it up with band workouts and active, what do they call it? Active dynamic stretching, all right? So basically you want to do stretching like this, right? And you want to do crosses like that. All this stuff is really important. You'll see my video. There's a video about my warm-up routine on my channel. You should definitely check it out. I have never detracted from that warm-up routine, and that was literally like that's one of the biggest things that kept me in the game working out for a very long time. The reason why probably at 39 years old, you're like, how the hell does this dude have a body like that, And it's because longevity in the game, all right? Very important. All right. How many days for total body? I don't know if I quite understand that. How many days for total bodybuilding? I have a video coming down, not next week, but the week after. And that one is going to be the answer to that question. How many days should you do in the gym? Essentially is what he's saying, because if you're doing total bodybuilding, I don't think you should ever do days unless you are on vacation, and there's a very, maybe you've paid $15 for a gym access for a day. Then you probably want to do a total body workout. That's obvious, right? But at any other standpoint, I would not do a total body workout. I would do, chest, triceps, shoulders, maybe one day, back, biceps another day, legs for another day. You need to have what's called a workout split. And how many days for total body? I addressed that in a video that's coming out next week. And the question is, for a beginner, no less than 3. For someone that's advanced, I think 5 is perfect. I think 5 to get an awesome body is good. I used to be at 5 until about 3-4 months ago. Now I'm at 4. I'm at 4, getting better, crazier results and leaner, right? Yeah, it's like no skin right there. It's crazy, right? That is the muscle right under the skin, nothing. So I'm doing a lot more things that I enjoy. I'm spending less time in the gym and getting crazier results, right? So I'll have a product one day about how I do that. You guys can decide whether you want to buy it. But anyways, yeah, it really depends. Srinivasan, if you are a beginner, complete beginner, how many days for total bodybuilding? You need to go 3. That's the most important thing. And if you're intermediate, 4 to 5. If you're expert, 4 to 5. What's up, Sufyan? It's good to see you. What should I eat in the morning? I want to be cut. If you want to be cut, I suggest eating nothing in the morning, all right? Don't eat anything in the morning and have 2 to 3 monstrously big meals throughout the day, okay? So skip your morning meal. Fast as much as you can. Try to work out in the morning too. I time my workouts to where I can eat within an hour after the workout, or I can have my smoothie within 30 minutes of the workout and have a meal an hour after that. So that's really important. So the question is, what should I eat in the morning? My answer is, I don't eat in the morning. I don't, and I have a body that's cut and looking pretty good, right? When I ate in the morning and I looked at my gains and everything like that, it was different. It just looked different. It wasn't as cut, and it wasn't as aesthetic. I felt bad. I felt good both ways. I felt good fasting, and I felt good when I had food in my belly. But I think a lot of times when people eat in the morning, it's because it's just conditioned in their life when they were a little kid to high school. Like, you have to eat breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it's completely BS. Complete BS. It's ridiculous. So no, you don't need breakfast first thing in the day. The number one thing you need the first thing in the day, the number one thing, the second you walk out of bed, is you need to pound down water. That's really important. It'll also help suppress your appetite, and it'll carry out your fast for you. It'll help you get your fast where you need it to be. Because a lot of times people are like, I can't eat in the morning, that's crazy. And so for the first week, they push their breakfast away and they only have lunch and dinner and maybe a snack. And I think that's hard to do. In the first week, you start to feel it kind of weird, right? But after a week, you'll feel this clarity come over you. You feel sharper, better. And it's actually kind of convenient to skip breakfast because it's like one less thing you have to prepare. So you can literally just put your clothes on, shave, whatever you need to do, get in your car, go to work, right? Like that's essentially how easy it is. So a lot of people are like, why would I want to do that? There are actually plenty of reasons you would want to do that. So check out intermittent fasting, Google it, look at all the benefits. But the benefit that is really unseen is there's just no preparation for breakfast. It's great. Anyways, the last remark is more like a remark. I do chest Monday, Tuesday. I do chest Monday, Tuesday back, Wednesday shoulders, Thursdays legs, Fridays arms. That's pretty good. It's not bad. That's basically a routine where you work out each muscle group once a week. What I like about your workout routine, and I've done it before, is that your biggest muscles get a day each. So if you want to maximize that workout routine that I'm watching right now on the comment, meaning Monday is chest, Tuesday is back, Wednesday is shoulders, Thursday is legs, and Friday is arms. If you want to maximize that routine, I mean, spend 10 to 15 minutes warming up in the morning before all that, and then spend an hour destroying the muscle, okay? Like just to the fullest extent. But you have to understand that right around the 30-minute mark or the 45-minute mark, that's when you start switching more to dumbbells and cables and stuff like that, because now the muscle is getting kind of tired. You never want to put it around too much stress at the 50% mark of your workout or the 75 or even the tail end, because that's how you get hurt, okay? So do your big, powerful stuff early, get it all out of the way, and then go into the sculpting mode around 30-minute mark, and then go into cable mode, maybe that 45-minute mark, all right? And if you're wondering, well, where does push-up mode go in there and all that? Well, push-up mode, maybe around the 30-minute mark. Sometimes push-ups can get you in trouble and you can pull some things if you do them at the tail end. So that's the answer to that question. I've done that workout routine before and I've had great results. The problem with that workout routine that I found was that my chest was ready to go 3 days later and I couldn't revisit it till Monday, right? International Chest Day. I couldn't hit it again till Monday. And that bothered me. So that's the reason why I'm on a split now that I'm on, because if you want to get gains faster, all right, you have to be able to hit the muscle. The second it's ready to go again, hit it again, right? And the more times you can hit a muscle in a year, the faster your gains come, right? So with yours, you have 52 chances to get your gains, right? On my workout routine, I have 104 chances to get my gains in a year. What's going to give you better chances? Probably mine, but then again, maybe your body recuperates differently than mine. So think about it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. L3 owned, is it okay to do cardio? Yes, cardio is so important to the lifting process. People skip it out or they do the bare minimum. I think it's ridiculous. I think cardio is really where all the fun is at. So I think people hate cardio because it puts them in stupid situations where they're on a treadmill, which is so boring, or a stair stepper, which is so boring, or an elliptical machine, which is so boring. Get out on a real bike. You see down here, like, I don't know, you can't see this. Maybe you can see it in the mirror. Yeah, you can kind of see right here. Like there's a freaking awesome mountain bike just chilling right here. I'm gonna show you. All right. This is what I live for. I live for this stuff right here. You see all this? See this mountain bike and everything like that? That awesome mountain bike, which I got last week. I've been mountain biking for like 2 decades, right? This is where the real fun is, right? I build this aesthetic body to inspire people and everything like that, but literally your ass should be outside having fun on those kind of things. That's your cardio right there. And believe it or not, you're going to be like wanting more of that than the gym after a while. So if you ever watch me on Facebook or on Instagram under @BODDAMN, you're going to see all this crap that I really like to do. And my body in the gym has prepared me for that kind of stuff. So if your question is like, how should I ever do cardio or whatever? Cardio is the best part of it, dude. It is the best part of it, but you're going to have to start working at seeing that cardio is so important to the greater picture of things. It'll make you happier if you do it right, but don't do it on a stupid stair stepper or a elliptical in the gym or anything dumb like that, or a treadmill. Get out of that stuff. Get out of that stuff. Go outside, get yourself a bike, find some trails, or go outside, get a longboard, skateboard, and start skating around. Get outside. If you have a beach next to you, learn how to surf, bodyboard, or something like that. Like, get outside. That's your cardio. All right. So people in this world do not want to do cardio because it's been conditioned. They just don't understand how much fun it really can be. So if you watch my channel more and more, you're going to start figuring it out that the real happiness doesn't come from having the aesthetic physique or whatever. It actually comes from all the stuff that it brings you in life. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm out of here. I hope that was a really long-winded response to how to build a broad chest. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like and make sure you hit that actual bell next to the BODDAMN thing. There's a bell next to it, because when the next video goes live, you're going to want to be there and I can answer your questions. The next video I do live, I'm going to be doing it from California, probably on the beach or something. So it's going to be really, really awesome. More than likely dealing with abs. So hit that bell next to the subscribe button. It's going to be really awesome. I thank you guys for being here, and hopefully I can answer your question on another BODDAMN video. Take it easy, guys, and get out there, lift, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.